You're listening to the smartest guys in marketing, the best show on the planet for client businesses to learn about traffic, funnels, sales, conversions, and marketing coolness. Chris and Taylor are the founders of Traffic and Funnels, a digital marketing consultancy helping you get paid clients from cold traffic daily. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Taylor.
What's up, boys and girls? It is Mommy and Daddy, smartest guys in marketing. I botched the intro again.
That was horrible.
Again, I'm sorry. Hey, it's great to be here with you today. We're going to keep this actually short, sweet, to the point. What are we talking about?
We're talking about why you need haters to show you the way.
Haters.
Haters, not lovers.
People who hate you.
Yes.
Oh, man. This is a big topic.
People are afraid of haters.
So
they run from haters.
I used to be afraid of haters.
Yeah.
Not
Even
anymore.
last week.
I think I was afraid of haters because I grew up and I was told that I was like going to change the world and I was special and I needed everybody to like me. And then I started
Did your mother tell you that?
My mom did, yeah. And she still does. It's awesome. Then I started running a business and then I found out that there are people in the world who do not like me. And I had to figure out why. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody ever told me this.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Another podcast we could do about why your mother lied to you.
Oh, yeah. The last one was really good.
Yeah.
No, here's
serious.
Here's a quote that we're basing this off of. This is if you studied, like the Forbes billionaire list, you've seen this name. He's always on there, Warren Buffett. And one of his quotes is, "You should beware the investment activity that produces applause." Let's just stop right there. How many things do we do in our lives and business because we want other people to take notice? And we want to be greeted with applause for it. Now, not the Buffett, not the OG. He's saying you should do you shouldn't do things that are greeted by applause. Bitcoin right now, please don't invest in Bitcoin. I'm not a financial advisor, but here's the deal. Like if CNN and Fox News is telling you to invest in something, it's probably too late. My opinion only. You should beware the investments that are going to be greeted with applause. Most great moves, Warren says, are greeted by yawns. Indifference, apathy, nobody cares, nobody pays attention. And I would take it a step further. Me and Chris were just talking about this before we hopped on, is in business, in the marketing climate that we have today, I would take it a step further and say most of your great moves, they're not going to be treated with indifference. They're going to be treated with hostility.
Yeah.
You have no haters? Probably don't have any lovers either. Yeah?
Yeah. The thing about this is our natural inclination is to run from the haters. Is to do anything at all costs, as much as possible to avoid hate. Because as you just said, we grew up like understanding that that's not what you want in life. You don't want haters. You want to be loved by everybody. The fact of the matter is, if you're loved by everybody, then you're doing something very, very wrong.
Yep.
And this just reminds me of a story. I took the family recently to see The Greatest Showman, and it's about P.T. Barnum. If you don't know about P.T. Barnum, you should read about him. He's a remarkable guy who he was hated by so many people because of what he was doing. He started growing started a circus, grew a circus, and
Whoa. Hold on. That was hard to watch.
That was hard.
Okay, so
he started a circus and then expanded that circus. And he was, he like went out and he was so out of the box. He was so like just out of the ordinary, his thought process to get attention, right? And I want you to make a note of that. That's really, really important. That he like went and hired bearded fat ladies, and he hired I think the politically correct term is a little person, a dwarf.
A midget.
No.
That's what. There's nothing wrong. If you're a midget and you're listening to this, there's nothing wrong.
But the thing is, like, he was so hated, like, people were like rioting basically against him. But on the other side, it like people were so intrigued and so curious about what he was doing. Like, it got so much attention. And now he's like respected as one of the greatest advertisers to ever live because he was willing to draw a line in the sand and basically create a divide from what he wanted, what he represented compared to everybody else. And the moral of the story is it created a tremendous amount of attention. And that's what you need to succeed. Like, no matter what you're doing, if you don't have attention, good and bad, you're not going to succeed.
Yes, 100%. That was a great story. I'm just lost in thought.
Well, with haters, that's a barometer. You know,
so real quick, I just had this random thought. Like, so I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't even know anything about the story of P.T. Barnum, but he was doing things to get attention, and he almost viewed people rioting against him as a form of attention, which was currency, and didn't take it as negative attention or positive attention. It was just attention.
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, I think that everyone who's created a movement ever has the same effect going on. They don't always have the same motives. They don't always have the same outcome in mind. But every single one of them, 50% of the people who encounter them hate them, and 50% of the people who encounter them love them.
Yeah.
It's not division. It's the ability to create passion.
Yeah.
Around what you're passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, you know, even in the movie, like I've known about P.T. Barnum for a long time, and I've read about him. And it was cool to see in the movie, just even his struggle with that. Even his own struggle of like dealing with haters, because he came from nothing. He came from a poor family and wanted the approval of people. So there's that innate thing in us that we still are always going to fight that. We're always going to have to deal with that. But if you want to accomplish something amazing, you're going to have to do things that is going to create that divide where you have people with pitchforks, you know, who are banging at your door ready to take you down. And especially more than ever before, it is going to happen today because it's so easy to be a hater online. So easy. Because there is essentially almost no recourse if you are.
Yeah. I think a good example of this is a post I made recently that was pretty controversial, and I wrote it in a way that it was controversial. I meant it to be controversial. I didn't make it pretty or edit the fine points so that I could appease both sides of the fence, but it was controversy. It was a short one-liner that offended a whole bunch of people. And, you know, most of my posts get like, you know, 10 comments or 8 comments or whatever, and this had 165 comments and like a dozen shares, and people are still commenting on it, and it was like 5 days ago. It's the gift that keeps on giving. People just keep finding it. And I engaged in a messaging chat with a well-known marketer who's basically like, your points are dumb. Like, dude, I sort of agree with you, but you should have like rewritten it. And I'm like, bro, you see how many comments are on this post? He's like, don't pretend that you did this on purpose. It's like, well, shame on you for not recognizing genius when you see it, but I did.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, and this guy's like, he's equally controversial, okay? This isn't someone who's like Mother Teresa, okay? He like knows what the crap he's doing as well. He's doing the same thing, but it just goes to show a point of like, attention is attention is attention is attention. And, you know, this is hard for people who have like backgrounds, even, I'm just going to go out there and be real vulnerable with you guys, like backgrounds in church. Because, dude, it's like, you can't offend people. Like, you know, church is about loving everyone, and, you know, everyone's welcome, and we're all on the same level. And even now being involved in church, and we're both involved in church, there are some times when it's like, sometimes I'm struggle bunny. I'm like, oh, well, if someone at church sees this, it's going to maybe offend them because they don't understand. And it's just like, at the end of the day, like the only thing you can do is recognize the principles at work and understand that the more negative attention you have, it's every movement has an equal counter movement. Every force has an equal counter force. It's the same in this game where it's like, if you don't have anybody yelling at you, you don't have anybody singing your praises either. It's just the law of the land. It's just a principle. And so why you need the haters to show you the way is because it is a map to tell you when you're relevant or when you're irrelevant. You have no haters, dude, you're probably irrelevant. The things you're saying probably don't matter. Like you probably are a little bit just, not screwed on straight to what the market is dealing with. But you start getting into a pulse where you're in frequency and people are like, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot. Watch what happens because your bank account's going to start growing. I'm not saying you shouldn't offend people for the sake of offending people, but it is a barometer on your relevancy in today's day and age.
Yeah, I think the last thing to add for me too is that one thing you'll discover is when you have vehement haters, equally, you will have people who will come to your defense and fight to the death for you. And the reason why is because there's something internal where the people who cheer your message and champion the message that you're talking about, they are going to feel personally attacked when the haters are coming at you because their belief system is in alignment with what you're saying.
Yep.
And so even more when you make a stand and you say, this is what I believe and this is what, I'm putting my stake in the ground, those people are going to rise up and going to love you even more and be even more fanatical about your cause. And if you're not doing this in your business, then you're missing out.
Missing out, bro.
Missing out. Do you want to tell them about that post? What that post was?
If you want me to.
We can just put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we can just put it in the show notes. I was basically telling people not to go to college. And literally everyone lost their shit and jumped off a cliff. It was amazing.
I love that.
But, the point is, like, if you did go to college, your majority of those people are going to be offended by that post. And if you didn't go to college, majority of those people are going to be agreeing with the post. And then there's a little bit of bleed over in the middle, but here's the deal. Like, and we'll talk more about this, like how education works today and how people learn things. And it's just, dude, the reality is that most of the people that are killing it today, they've had to unlearn everything that they learned in college. Mm-hmm. Like they've had to unlearn all of the marketing courses that they took because none of it is real. Like it's just textbook 1920s marketing. There's nobody really teaching the attention economy in college. So it was one of those posts. And you can go to my Facebook profile and see the goodies. Those people tearing their clothes and kneeling in the streets.
It's funny, dude. I was going to post the same thing that same night.
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
It's because you're afraid of the haters, bro.
I'm not afraid.
Let's talk about it. We can get it out on the show.
I actually wrote in, and I think I just got distracted. I was going to write, is college a scam?
Yeah, here's the thing, dude. I have a degree. And this is like part of the issue is everyone was like, if you had a degree, you wouldn't think so. Like, it's so stupid. They don't even do research before just yelling. And, there are times when college is appropriate. Like, say, if you want to be a brain surgeon or if you want to be a lawyer and you have to, there are certain people who have to go to schooling. And my argument is not against higher education. My argument is against like going to college for $150,000 when you don't really know what you want to do, but you're going to get a business degree is just stupid. It's like not smart at all.
Yeah.
You all right, bro? You having a coughing fit?
I think when the university system was created, obviously it was a major need. Right, we're kind of getting off in a tangent here, but I think this is important to state because it just entails the principle that and how we think about business. But now information moves so at a rapid pace. At so much of a rapid pace that the university system can't keep up with it. That's why we talk about, if you're not actually out there taking action, it doesn't matter like how many books you have, how many books you read. Like, you actually have to go out and get on the field of play to know what's going to work in today's economy and today's situation.
Yeah.
So,
and let's not take this out of context too. If you're listening to this podcast, you're a certain psychographic nature. You're looking for how to grow your business and do marketing. You probably own a business, or you're trying to start a business. And this has been the case in the past too, where it's like, I've been like, if you're not at the financial level you want to be, it's your fault. And people are like, what about people who live in tents in Southern Africa and their mom, got eaten by a lion and they have no one to teach? It's like, dude, they are not on Facebook right now. They're not, it's not my audience. Like, listen to yourself. So it's like, when you say things as well, you're speaking to a certain audience at a certain level of awareness. And then you can make any contextual argument that you want to justify the opposite if you take it out of context. So it's like, well, yeah, with the person who, doesn't know how to speak English because they just moved here from Asia, and they can go to college because if they need to learn something, it doesn't.
Remember,
it's all about context here.
I actually posted that. Like, it was something like, if you're poor, it's your fault.
Yeah. And so it was like,
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got mad.
People were like, well, this is very egotistical of you to say for people who, they only get paid 20 cents a week and the price of grain is 25 cents and they can't even, it's like, dude, that is not, they also can't afford phones with internet connection. So people love to take things out of context, justify their point of view.
Yeah. It's true.
Can't do that. All right. Where's the time gone?
Oh, just enjoying ourselves here. Hey, go get our free gift, trafficandfunnels.com/gift. If you're not in the Smartest Guys in Marketing group on Facebook, jump in there. There's so much value there. It's ridiculous. Smartest Guys in Marketing. You can search on Facebook.
Yes. Adios.
Peace.